So the opening match, we had Liv Morgan versus Iyo Sky. And my God, my man, let me tell you, Liv, she's such a star. And Iyo, she's basically a walking Japanese emoji. Isn't that right?
Huh? I would absolutely agree with both statements, actually. I am a huge fan of both of these ladies, to be perfectly honest with you. They put it all out there, and I think very taken with it. I thought it was an excellent match.
Let's just start with the elephant in the room. How high do you think Liv Morgan was?
Huh? Well, considering she had her skull almost knocked into the back of her skull, I think you know what I mean? I'm sure there's some sort of medicating going on.
Yes, absolutely. She's starting to get a little too reckless. Like, she's leading into her character awesomely. You know what I'm saying? I'm not hating on any of that, but just you can tell that demons, if you will, are starting to be seen.
You know, she's climbing the ladder. And that's what you do when you climb the ladder. Right. You know, and unfortunately, some people get reckless when they do that. And not good or bad, that's the phase that she's in right now. And arguably it's providing some excellent wrestling, you know what I mean? Because if you're willing to be that reckless,
right?
There are many, for example, there are many Hell in a Cells that we know of, but there's one that everybody talks about, and it's the most reckless one there is, you know what I mean? And something to be said about that. But however, I think all these ladies need to take care of themselves. These are anybody who doubts the women's division, if you they don't know what they're talking about. And this is a prime example of that. It's excellent wrestling.
Now, speaking of the wrestling, I got to tell you the storytelling here. It was your classic good versus evil.
Sure.
Obviously, Liv was the evil one. The sin, the temptation, yada yada. And then Iyo is just your good. What was the Disney film? Mulan, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, in a way, she's like a Mulan. You know what I'm saying?
She's lighthearted.
Right. Yeah,
I always expect her to turn around and throw a peace sign up, you know.
Right, because she literally is that walking emoji, my man. Mm-hmm. So now, point out things from the match. Shout out to Liv Morgan for paying homage to the greatest luchador of all time. Bruh. And hitting the three amigos. My God, let me tell you. Michael Cole will tell you that it may or may not be for Eddie Guerrero. I'm not having that. Bruh.
I mean, arguably, Dirty Dom is the man.
Right.
And it's only fitting that, she pays homage, I mean, it's his father, and it makes sense for her to pay tribute in such a fashion.
Amen, brother. So, I personally think Liv deserved a win.
Agreed.
And like I said, we'll see her in 100 days. And now, obviously, I'm the Mark, and you're the former pro wrestler. So I'm not going to speak from this perspective. But I feel that Liv Morgan deserves her 100 days off. If she's bringing in the house and selling the proper amount of merch, shouldn't she get that vacation in a way? Or how do you feel, personally?
Well, I look at it like this. If you're willing to put off your 100 days in order to keep the ball rolling, because if you've heard anything about wrestling, it's all about momentum.
Right.
So when you want to keep that going, and sometimes the momentum looks less than it is, but you got to get all the way around it to get, to keep the ball rolling, so to speak. So sometimes it might seem it's every professional wrestler will tell you, yeah, I'd love 100 days off.
Yeah.
But that's their body speaking. You know what I mean? Their mind and their heart is like, no, dude, I need to be in there. So especially after the noggin knocker that she took, I wouldn't be surprised or blame her if she did take 100 days off, because it is well-deserved and well-earned. However, I would probably think that she would try to push that back as much as she can to get everything she can out of this before, because then maybe something happens, and because how wrestling is so fickle.
Right.
You can be on top one day and then be off the next day, and then you're off for the next month, and then people just don't pick you back up, for example.
Right. Okay. Right.
So then that would be your opportunity opportunity to be like, all right, I'm leaving for 100 days. You know what I mean? When if you're paying attention, you can see the waves. I mean, that's all their lives are. Right. So if, there are people reporting to them, oh, you're trending today. Oh, you're got to be on this radio interview. You got to be, there are all things. Like the Miz is a prime example, man. He was at every radio. He was at every stupid thing that you could send a WWE guy to. And people forget that that's part of the gig too. So when you're taking off 100 days, you're not just taking off 100 and I don't even know if that's 100 days solid or if that's 100 days accumulative programming or whatever. But regardless, that's 100 days also that you're not getting paid whatever you're getting paid to show up here and do this appearance and make this signing and things like that. So there's definitely a financial incentive to keep going as long as you can. But again, like I said, if I was her, and all right, this is me thinking like a girl. If I got one of those goose eggs on my forehead, I would have asked right then and there. No, I can't be seen. You know what I mean? Right. But she took it like a champ, which shows that she's tougher than people are perhaps giving her credit for. I think she'll hang in there, but it is definitely earned for sure.
Amen, brother. So now my last thing on this match. So did you feel that Liv Morgan is improving in the ring? Or is she just relying too much on Roxanne and Raquel to just interfere, more or less being her crutch, if you will?
And that's a tough one because when you're used to people being there and you're used to people being involved in your matches, you are then sacrificing X percentage in your performance to accommodate them. So like hypothetically speaking, if they're not there, she can rely 100% on herself to get her through the match. And then being with that recklessness that we were speaking of, she could definitely, to answer the question, yes, I think she's improved and she's definitely taking notes and doing her homework and using her ring experience, not only as just like experience, but like alert. You know what I mean? Like, it's not just another match on her belt. I would believe, or I would like to believe that she's learning every time she's in there. You know what I mean? Because you can see it sometimes. If you look, you can see the learning moments. Right. And I don't mean it in any sort of inside baseball sort of way, but just as a performer, and everybody has their hiccups, so you can use, if you're worth your weight, you'll see those, but you'll see them few and far in between. And the women, and sometimes the women's division is full of that. As good of athletes as these women are, there was very little of that. I say very little, but I'm trying to give both of them the credit where credit's due. Like that is nothing it's hard for me to pick apart. You know what I mean? Like I think they both did. It's exceptional.
So I feel more or less with Iyo, like the whole Iyo and Liv beef is very real, but it's just Iyo understands the whole terminology of best for business and that she has to protect Liv and she needs Liv. You know what I'm saying? It's Batman and Joker, right?
Precisely.
Right, correct.